You hire an expert. You pay their heavy fees. You trust them to protect you, right? Well, get ready for a wake-up call. Hard data from a landmark study reveals a brutal truth. The experts you pay might actually be selling you out. Today, we're looking at Mexico's labor courts. It's the ultimate testing ground for human greed, and we're going to explore the revolutionary algorithm that uncovered the whole thing.
Picture this. You just got unfairly fired. Your income? Gone. You're desperate. Who do you call? Your absolute first instinct is probably to hire an expensive private lawyer. You figure if I pay top dollar, I'm safe. But the data we are about to look at delivers a massive slap in the face. It turns out your instincts are dead wrong. When workers file a lawsuit, they demand massive payouts. But the historical data reveals a cruel, undeniable gap. On average, plaintiffs walk away with just 20% of what they initially ask for. Think about that. The lawyers promise you the moon, but they deliver a pebble. It's a completely broken system. Now, here's a mathematical paradox that absolutely defies common sense. You'd naturally assume paying for a private lawyer guarantees a better result. Nope. The data proves the exact opposite. Private lawyers take a massive 30% contingency fee. When you factor in that massive cut, you mathematically walk away with less money in your pocket than if you had just used a free public attorney. You are literally paying a premium to lose money.
So why does this happen? It's simple. Your private lawyer doesn't actually want you to win fast. They want to drag the case out. Endless prolonged fights justify their existence, and they justify those massive fees down the road. They play the long game. But what about you? You are the one slowly getting starved out. You are the one who has to figure out how to buy groceries tomorrow.
And these professionals, they profit entirely off of what you don't know. In these labor courts, a staggering 73% of plaintiffs are completely in the dark. They don't even know they have a basic constitutional right to 90 days of severance pay. Half of them don't even know what their own lawsuits say. And an ignorant client is an easily manipulated client. To break this toxic cycle, a group of economists stepped in with a brilliant, low-cost fix. First, they took 5,000 historical, concluded cases and fed them into a machine learning model. Second, they built an AI predictive calculator. And third, they put this calculator right in the court waiting rooms. It totally bypasses a lawyer's empty promises and just gives you the cold, hard mathematical odds of what your case is truly worth.
Before this calculator existed, workers were completely blinded by optimism. Their legal counsel fed them totally inflated expectations. They actually walked in expecting an 80% chance of winning. But the algorithm, it revealed the harsh reality. Their actual odds of winning were just 41%, barely half of what they were promised.
And injecting this brutal dose of reality into the room, it worked absolute miracles. By skipping the hype and showing the real odds, settlement rates instantly doubled. Twice as many people just agreed to take the cash right then and there. This single intervention saved desperate workers from years of useless, agonizing legal battles. Now, if the story ended right there, it'd be a simple, massive win for data transparency. But the way this experiment actually played out on the ground, it revealed a terrifying twist. Brace yourself, because the data exposed a profound betrayal.
The researchers designed a crucial trigger for the AI calculator. It only worked if the worker was physically standing there to read the screen. If the worker was absent, if only the private lawyer saw the bleak predictive data, absolutely nothing changed. Zero increase in settlements. The data failed to move the needle at all if only the experts saw it.
Let this peer-reviewed quote really sink in. When private lawyers were handed undeniable mathematical proof of a case's terrible odds, they actively chose to hide it from their own clients. They lied by omission. They killed the chance for a fast, fair settlement just to keep the case alive for their own future benefit.
Why do the people you pay to protect you suddenly become your betrayers? It all comes down to risk. Lawyers aren't desperate for immediate cash. They spread their bets across hundreds of cases. They can afford to gamble. A quick, fair settlement actually hurts their long-term bottom line. Meanwhile, your immediate need to pay rent tomorrow, that just gets completely ignored.
But look what happens when you bypass these gatekeepers. When you put raw data directly into the hands of the vulnerable. Just 2 months after this experiment, there was a 7% drop in workers reporting they couldn't afford food or basic utilities. Let me repeat that. Breaking the lawyer's information monopoly literally put food on the table for desperate families. It gave them their power back.
Still, we have to be realistic here. Data transparency is an incredible weapon, but an algorithm isn't magic. It can't fix deep systemic corruption. It doesn't stop shady companies from illegally transferring their assets. You can literally hold a final, victorious court judgment in your hand and still collect absolutely nothing because the company's bank account is mysteriously empty.
This incredible data leaves us with one terrifying lingering thought. Legal experts in this system are actively weaponizing their knowledge to exploit their own clients. It makes you wonder, in your own life, with your personal finances, your healthcare, your business, how many well-dressed experts are smiling at you right now, secretly profiting off your ignorance?